really large person, and impressive stature or girth is always fascinating to those who are not lucky enough to be so large. From the huge wrestling legend to the Chinese man who uses his massive arms to save animals, here's the 15 largest humans to ever live. Number 15. Manny Yarbrough. Manny Yarbrough was known to his many fans as the world's largest sumo wrestler and the heaviest pro athlete in the world. Manny sadly passed away at the age of 51 in 2015, but his legacy lives on. Known as Tiny, Yarbrough was the biggest ever UFC fighter and a sumo champion from the USA. He made his way to the Guinness Book of World Records and even appeared on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno alongside Miley Cyrus. In one famous UFC fight, he managed to throw karate expert Keith Hackney out of the cage. Although he went on to lose by TKO, Yarbrough was always going to be a big guy, and by the age of 12, he was almost 6 feet tall and weighed more than 250 pounds. His personality was just as big, and he was known as a genuinely nice guy, who also traveled the world, helping to educate people about the problems of childhood obesity, something he himself suffered from. A native of Rahway, New Jersey, this 600-pound giant will always be missed by his friends, family, and millions of fans. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Number 14. Ji Shun. Ji Shun was born in Chifeng, Inner Mongolia, China in 1951, and has since become world famous as one of the tallest people ever. He is a massive 7'9" tall and was previously recognized as the tallest person alive by the Guinness Book of Records. According to Ji Shun, he was a normal height until he turned 16, when he had a late growth spurt that just kept going. When he became an adult, he served in the People's Liberation Army of China for 3 years, although finding a uniform in his size might have been kinda tough. In one incident in 2006, he was asked to help out with a dolphin rescue operation. The dolphins had swallowed shards of plastic, which was threatening their lives, and rescuers were unable to find a way to remove them, but Ji Shun was able to use his massive arms to reach down and remove the plastic from the dolphins' stomachs. He has worked in hospitals since returning to his native Inner Mongolia, and married his wife in a traditional Mongolian ceremony in 2007, and they had a son the following year. Number 13. Sajjad Garibi. Sajjad Garibi was born in 1991 in Khuzestan, Awaz, Iran, and is known as the Iranian bodybuilder and weightlifter. He also competes in MMA and has gained a reputation as the Persian Hercules, or sometimes the Iranian Hulk, due to his enormous muscle mass.
That's good. That's good.
The 6'2" Sajjad has become an internet phenomenon as people have been desperate to see his massive 390-pound physique. But he is not all brawn, as evidenced by him gaining a Bachelor of Commerce degree from Azad University in Bushehr, where he now lives. He has also become a film star in Iran and has more than 500,000 followers on his social media accounts, such as Instagram. Some people have said that his photos look like they might have had a little work done to him, but Sajjad is determined to prove his worth, and was scheduled for his first MMA fight in 2020, but like everything else that year, it seems to have been postponed. He also volunteered to take on ISIS on behalf of the Iranian government back in 2016, saying he would go to Syria to fight the patriotic cause on behalf of his beloved homeland against the terrorist organization. Number 12. Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant was a famous French wrestler who appeared in WWF wrestling during its golden age in the late 80s and early 90s, before his early death in 1993. Andre really was a giant, weighing 520 pounds and measuring 7'4". His huge size catapulted him to worldwide fame as a wrestler, but he soon transferred his skills to the movie industry, playing the role of Fezzik the Giant in The Princess Bride. Andre was born in Grenoble in 1946, and when he was young, the town was also home to the absurdist playwright and Nobel Prize winner Samuel Beckett. Beckett was one of the few people wealthy enough to own a large car, so he offered to take Andre to school every day, since the huge boy couldn't fit into any regular transport. Andre, born Andre Rene Razumov, suffered from a hormone defect which caused his enormous size, but he did not let it stop him from becoming a huge star, becoming World Wrestling Champion in 1988, after defeating Hulk Hogan in a grudge match. Beckett died a year later, but he would surely have been pleased to see his prodigy have as much success in wrestling as he did in writing darkly absurdist expressionist plays. Number 11. Robert Wadlow. Robert Pershing Wadlow was known during his life as the Alton Giant and is still on record as the tallest man who ever lived. He was born in Alton, Illinois back in 1918 and grew to an unbelievable 8'11" at the time of his death at the age of 22, and he was still growing when he died. He weighed 439 pounds, and his condition was due to a defect in his pituitary gland, causing the growth hormones to be released into his body in a way which caused massive growth. Wadlow was the eldest of 5 children born to Harold and Addie Wadlow, and Robert had grown taller than his father by the age of just 8 years old. Wadlow did well at school in spite of being an uncomfortable 8'4" at graduation and went on to study law. However, he needed leg braces and had very little feeling in his legs, his size proving to be a major disability. Instead of pursuing law, he joined the circus and became a center ring attraction. He refused the circus's request to dress up and just wore his regular clothes, showing himself as a normal person. He was sponsored by a shoe company who provided him with the size 37 shoes he needed, and he tired of the circus life, looking to a career in advertising, as well as becoming a master mason in the Grand Lodge of the Order of Demole, a Masonic order associated with the Knights Templar. He died in his sleep in 1940 after a leg brace injured him and gave him blood poisoning, and he was buried in Illinois in a coffin measuring almost 11 feet, weighing 1,000 pounds, and requiring 12 pallbearers. Number 10. Vikas Uppal. Vikas Kumar Uppal, also known as Vicky, was India's tallest man when he sadly passed away in 2007. From Rohtak, Haryana, in 1986, Vicky gained fame across India for his incredible height as he reached his teens. His last official measurement was in 2004 when he clocked a huge 8'3". He was still growing then at an astonishing rate, and it is believed he reached 8'10" at the time of his death. But this was never officially confirmed. Attending a rally for the National Lockdown political party, he was noticed by a photographer for the magazine The Hindu and photographed, which led to his sudden fame at age 19. His fame then led to an appearance in the Bollywood film Rang de Basanti. He is also known for being a proportionate giant rather than a pathological one, which would suggest uneven growth or deformity. Sadly, though, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor and passed away on the operating table at the age of just 21 years old, leaving India without its tallest man, and the man who could possibly have grown to be the tallest of all time. Number 9. Lindsay K. Hayward. Lindsay K. Hayward was born in 1987 in Walnut Creek, California, and nowadays she is better known by her ring names, which include Isis the Amazon and Aloysia. She has found worldwide fame as an actress and wrestler, with her name being inscribed in the Guinness Book of Records in 2013 as the tallest actress to ever appear in a leading role.
Just observe everybody, you know what I mean? Look down on everyone. Yeah. In a way.
Her maximum height was 6'9", but she has since lost some height due to a slip disc. It may come as no surprise to learn that during her high school years, Lindsay was a star of women's basketball, but she moved over to wrestling, winning many championships, which led her to being signed up by the WWE. However, the WWE bosses discovered that she had in the past posed for some topless photographs and immediately tore up her contract. Of course, the WWE being the purveyors of moral superiority the world needs right now, but she was undeterred and decided to move into the world of TV, where no one cares about what you did the night before, let alone years ago, and she found success in several roles, including the hit show Grey's Anatomy. Number 8. Zhang Jilian. Zhang Jilian was born in Hunan, China in 1964 and went on to become recognized as the tallest woman ever officially measured by the Guinness Book of Records, moving ahead of Jane Bunford. She reached the huge height of 8'1" at the time of her death in 1982. Studies showed that Zhang's pattern of growth was very similar to that of Robert Wadlow. She was more than 5 feet tall at the age of 4, had passed 7 feet when she was 13, and passed the 8 feet mark when she died at the tragically young age of just 17. Zhang's life is a little mysterious given that she was a woman born in a peasant village in China during its most secretive and crazy period of modern history. But her home village was Yujiang, part of the Bright Moon Commune. Her mother was just over 5 feet tall and her father 5'2", which was a little below the average for a Chinese person at the time. By the age of 18 months, Zhang was able to lift bags of cement weighing 110 pounds with her 10-inch hands, but she suffered from diabetes and scoliosis, which were severely disabling. She refused radiation therapy when she learned it would mean she would lose all her hair, and she succumbed to her medical conditions at 17, having broken Wadlow's record for tallest 17-year-old ever. It's possible she would have gone on to be the tallest person of all time had she not died so young. Number 7. Dalip Singh Raina. Dalip Singh Raina is better known to wrestling fans as the Great Kali. Dalip was born in a Punjabi Hindu family in the village of Diraina in the Himachal Pradesh region of India. Dalip would later become an American citizen and a WWE superstar. Weighing 350 pounds and measuring 7'1", Dalip became a cop after he was spotted by another cop when he was working as a security guard in his local community.
और 94 में मैं गांव से आया हूं मैं पंजाब में
His cop friend trained Dalip and helped him not only become a police officer, but set him on his way to becoming a famous wrestling star. In a real rags to riches story, as Dalip came from a very poor family in India. In the year 2000, he began his journey competing in all-star wrestling at the age of 28. The following year, he moved to San Francisco and joined the WCW, finally moving to WWE in 2006, where he became a star and the World Heavyweight Champion. He had a strange feud with Jackass presenter Johnny Knoxville, and then his character became a wrestling playboy where he would select random women from the crowd and make them kiss him for his kiss cam. Told you WWE was wholesome. Dalip has now retired from his long and successful career as a wrestler and has taken on acting roles as well as continuing his life as an extremely devoted practitioner of Hinduism. Number 6. Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall was born in Newcastle-under-Lyme in England in 1988 and is better known as simply The Beast. This British former professional strongman has won many competitions, including the 2017 World's Strongest Man contest, becoming the first British man to win since 1993.
Feels amazing. Really easy weight.
He also held deadlift world record, pulling 1,102 pounds. Expelled from school at the age of 15, he became an excellent rugby union player and swimmer before going on to become a bodybuilder and competitor in strongman events, finding a huge amount of success in those fields. He won the UK's Strongest Man contest for the first time in 2011 and in the process set a new world record for the Viking hold competition, which involves hanging on to a 44-pound Viking axe in each hand at full stretch. Eddie managed to do this for an amazing 1 minute and 18 seconds. The next few years saw him enter his first World's Strongest Man contest, and although he made a slow start, by 2015 he had placed 4th and was beginning to be considered a serious contender. He was continually setting records in deadlifting, and finally he achieved his dream, winning World's Strongest Man in 2017. After this, he retired and focused on less intense competition, citing concerns about the effect on his health of such extreme strength contests. Number 5. Neil Fingleton. The tallest man not only in Britain, but the European Union, back when Britain was still a part of that, was Neil Fingleton,
I'll kick your ass anytime,
who stood at 7'6", making him one of the 25 tallest men in the world at his peak. He also re-established himself as a basketball player and actor. His records were confirmed in 2007 as he overtook previous tallest EU man Christopher Greener, who was also British. Born in Durham, England, Neil attended high school in the US, hoping to follow his dreams of becoming an NBA star. He won a basketball scholarship at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and then made his pro debut with the Boston Frenzy in the 2004 to 2005 season. He moved on to play in the National Basketball Leagues of England and Spain before injury caused him to retire from playing. Neil's parents were both pretty tall, both measuring 6 feet, and his brothers and sisters were all well over 6 feet, but none could compare to his huge 7'6" height. He moved into acting after his basketball career ended, starring alongside Keanu Reeves in the 45 Ronin, although Neil sadly passed away from a heart problem in 2017. Number 4. Brahim Taqiullah. Brahim Taqiullah is a Moroccan man who is the second tallest person in the world and once held the world record for the tallest feet of anyone alive. Born in 1982 in the town of Gelmim, by the age of 18 his school doctor was curious about Brahim's huge size and so sent him for a blood test. He had grown more than 3 feet in 1 year, and this led him to be diagnosed with acromegaly, which can lead to huge growth. Brahim went to university and studied geography. However, he went to Paris to see a French doctor and was diagnosed with a tumor, which the doctor successfully removed, and he was furthermore able to bring down the amount of growth hormones in Brahim's blood, meaning that he would finally stop growing. Aside from this, the doctor reported Brahim in good health. Since this time, Brahim has obtained French nationality and lives in a suburb of Paris where he works at an amusement park. Things weren't always so good for Brahim, as he had a long struggle to find a pair of shoes to fit his record-breaking feet. Measuring 1'3" long, it seems there aren't any Nikes available in that enormous size. Number 3. Yao Ming. The Chinese are not generally known for their tallness, at least compared to Northern Europeans and Africans, which is why there aren't all that many super tall Chinese basketball players. But proving that you can never rely on generalizations, it turns out that the tallest basketball player of all is in fact Chinese, and will be very familiar to many fans of the NBA, especially from the early 2000s. Born in Shanghai, Yao made his name in Chinese basketball before being selected by the Houston Rockets in the 2002 draft. He had a long and successful career with the Rockets before retiring due to injury in 2011. In his final season, Yao was the tallest NBA player, and at 7'6", this is early surprising. He reached the NBA playoffs 4 times, and this is the only non-US player to lead the NBA in all-star votes. But Yao wasn't just a great basketball player, he was also a cultural phenomenon who was seen as representing a new China as the country began to make itself known as a rival superpower to the USA back in the early 2000s. Here was a very visible Chinese athlete succeeding in the NBA, and visible not just because he is 7.5 feet tall. Number 2. Igor Vovkovinsky. Igor Vovkovinsky is the current tallest person in the USA, and the Ukrainian-American stands at 7'8", weighing 380 pounds. Born in 1982, Igor moved to Rochester, MN in 1989 to be treated at the Mayo Clinic when it was discovered that there were no specialists who could help with his giant size in his native Ukraine. When he moved at the age of 7, he was already 6 feet tall. It is believed that his huge size was caused by a tumor pressing against his pituitary gland, which caused a massive release of growth hormones. Igor has studied law and become an actor, and he went viral in 2011 for wearing a t-shirt that read, "World's Biggest Obama Supporter." He then landed a role in the comedy film Hall Pass, but since has revealed that he has other medical problems to combat, giving regular updates on his popular YouTube channel for the 2013 Eurovision Song Contest, where he represented Ukraine, although this did not seem to impress the judges as the Ukrainian entry finished in 22nd out of 28 places that year. Number 1. Sun Mingming. If you thought Yao Ming was the only giant Chinese basketball player, then you clearly forgot all about Sun Mingming. Sun may not be as successful as Yao, but he does beat him on one important stat. Sun is the tallest basketball player in the world. When the Guinness Book of World Records measured him, they recorded his height at a massive 7'9". Sun was born in 1983 in a small town in Bayan County, Harbin, in Heilongjiang Province, China. He had no interest in basketball until he was already 15 years old, and he began to play the game. He soon went out to play college basketball at Ventura College, California. After one season of college basketball, he turned pro with the Maryland Nighthawks. He played only for minor league teams, but was drafted by the Harlem Globetrotters in 2007 before continuing his career in the Mexican and Japanese leagues. Finally, in 2009, he returned to China to play for the Beijing Ducks, where he stayed for the rest of his career. His wife, Yu Yan, is also pretty tall, and together they are recognized as the tallest couple in the world, with a combined height of 13'11". Would you like to be as large as any of these people? What other cool jobs could you do apart from basketball and sumo wrestling if you were of huge size? Let us know in the comments below.